Welcome back to the Malta Man Cave. I'm Keith.
I'm Dave.
Tonight, it's been a while since we've done a spring bank, but it's back, and we're doing one tonight. All right, so we're back, and as Dave said, we're getting into some funk this evening. It's been a while since we've done any Springbank, Hazelburn, or Longrow products, or Kilkerran from the Glengyle distillery.
It's been at least a month.
Janet. it's been stinking 4 reviews since we've done a Springbank. It's been so long. But tonight, we're actually, don't tell my wife this.
Christmas came early.
We're reviewing my Christmas present.
We're naughty little elves.
So, she might know. I'm going to have to put it in the... No, there's no tins for Springbank. I'm going to have to angle it so she can't see it.
Just be like, that's how they're...
Babe, I already wrapped it for you.
It's for the...
Babe, you know what? You just looked really stressed. I just went ahead and wrapped it for you.
It's for the pressure. It's to keep the pressure from...
Exactly. So tonight, and forgive me, I'm still kind of getting over a little cold. We're going to be doing Longrow 14 Sherry. So, anything we want to say about this one?
No.
I'm not going to get into, the beauties of Springbank, Longrow, and Hazelburn.
Is that natural color?
Oh, yeah.
That's a beautiful... I know.
You know that.
But I just wanted to draw attention to that.
So
that's
I
a
go
good
on my
looking...
tangent again.
It's just a good looking...
Non-chill filtered. Cast strength, I assume, at 57.8% ABV. It does not say cast strength, but one can only imagine at 57.8. But there are some times that producers, they water it down to like a certain level and it's not technically cast strength, but it looks like it because it's like 56 or something like that. Some distilleries do that, so I do. Yeah. They do that. So I don't know.
Do you think that they're doing that for flavor or for other reasons?
I think there could be a plethora of reasons for that. I think. Maybe the masters are like, this is like the perfect ABV for it. It could be they're trying to get so many bottles out of it. Like sometimes they like I think Springbank a lot of times comes out with like 9,000.
Okay.
Or 11,000.
So what kind of water do they use to water it down with?
Well, I mean, typically a lot of distilleries in Scotland use like the local sources and they like to espouse like, from the natural springs of...
Yeah, but it might just be from like the city waterworks or whatever.
No, I mean, I'm sure there are some distilleries that do just the city, but there are many distilleries that actually get it from, from
the spring water.
Yeah, from the springs and the rivers and different stuff like that. So let's hope they don't have a whole lot of pollution over there in Scotland.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, it's pretty safe and clean. So Longrow 14 Sherry, it was in the sherry cask for the entire 14 years, so a proper sherry maturation. On the back, it says...
Just what I wanted.
Cask type is the refill Oloroso Sherry, distilled in September of 2003 and bottled in July of 2018. And the outturn, 9,000 bottles. So I think sometimes they want to get like a certain amount. Maybe not.
What does it mean by refill?
So
it's already been down the road once before?
Typically, yeah. So that means it probably, it held another... Someone else, it doesn't always, sometimes it's like a real quick toe in the water, like they put it in these like fresh first fill sherry cask for, 4 months. And and then they're like, all right, well, these still got a lot of flavor in them. Sometimes they don't do anything to them, they just use them as is. Sometimes they rejuvenate it by charring it.
And sometimes they probably are looking for that, whatever is coming off of the previous.
And I know a lot of times, like with older whiskeys, if it's going to be in the cask, if they're planning on like, this is going to be like a 25-year or 30-year. Sometimes first fill sherry cask for 30 years is, I don't know, I would like it.
Yeah.
It's like so full of flavor and so oaked and it's almost too much sometimes.
Yeah.
I personally like them when they're first fill, but obviously I had a bunch of refill.
Now, is that what they were when whiskey was first being created? Was it
First
always
fill?
first fill?
I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, the first time we're gonna get into the history of sherry cask. So I can't remember who it was. There was a British. Oh gosh, you're gonna put me on the spot.
That's all right. We have that ability.
There was a war, and gosh dang it, I used to know. who was it? There was a British general. I think they did something happened in Spain. There was a war, and they kind of like took over the city, and like the spoils of war was all these like sherry casks because Spain is known for the bodegas and the sherry. And then ever since that, they brought a bunch of like the sherry back, and then the Brits got a taste for sherry, and they're like, we got all these casks because back in the day,
I can see them like dumping out the wine and pouring in like cheap whiskey into these wine barrels, and then traveling all the way back on the boats, and then they get back and they're like, what have we done?
Well, that's funny. In bourbon, I think that's actually what happened. I believe there was some story of like the Mississippi River, and I'm going to murder this, guys.
That's right.
They had it was either up north, like in Kentucky, and then they were shipping, like all the shipping lanes down to New Orleans, or the bayou, down the Mississippi River. They had put whiskey in these oak barrels, and like by the time it got down to New Orleans, it was like, what is this like woody, delicious, bourbony, like vanilla flavor that I got from the oak cask? And then after that, they always went to oak cask.
Right. Yeah.
And then after that, our boy Elijah Craig, the pastor, is supposedly, now this is debated,
baptizing in firewater,
whether he was the first one to actually char the barrels. They claim that he was the first one to come up with like charring, which kind of opens up the vanillins and the tannins and
gives it a little bit better color.
So, I mean, the Scottish have been known for a long time to be cheap and use a lot of like third fill, fourth fill, fifth fill.
So that's not common.
This is probably a second. Like literally, the cask before this was probably used once for whiskey, and then this was probably the second time.
Gotcha.
Judging by the flavor and the color.
Long way around.
But I do want to say one little last thing about the sherry. So, it used to be the legislation was they'd actually ship the sherry from Spain. They'd ship it in the oak cask. All the way to Britain, and so it'd soak up all the sherry. Well, legislation passed, and I can't remember, we'll put it right there, and they can't do that anymore. So they have to ship it in bottles. So, just hundreds of bottles in cases.
Yeah.
So that's why there's a big kind of crisis of not having as many good sherry casks, because they don't have...
Because they're not sending them.
Because they didn't ship these, in the casks.
Right.
So that's why it's sherry. So you're probably happy about that. There's not as much sherry casks. So I butchered that.
This one might make me a believer.
Is it Francis Drake Scott, I think.
Yeah.
Dang it, I don't know. I'm so mad at myself. We're gonna put it right there.
You're gonna be doing a lot of noodling tonight.
I used to know this, guys, and now I'm embarrassed that I don't know this.
Yeah, I put you on the spot.
Without further ado, let's get into some whiskey.
Yeah. I feel like we should sing O Tannenbaum as we drink your...
Why can't we be like other whiskey channels and actually plan out our scripts, Dave, so I can give the perfect answer?
Hey, man.
I don't want to do that. I'm just kidding.
That's
not my bag.
Spontaneity.
Cheers. What do you got on the nose? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. So, yes, it is a sherry, but it has a lot of redemption in it. The first thing that I was trying not to say raisins, but prune juice, just hot. It reminded me of like walking into a bathroom with like a hot, steamy tub of prune juice in this.
There's a lot of prunes
in this. So that was the first thing that hit. But then it's got a very nice vinegar quality to it, and it reminded me of just pouring some vinegar onto some chips or French fries and just chopping away.
Do you like I love vinegar chips.
I do too,
and I love fries with vinegar on it.
Yeah, me too.
So do you enjoy that in your whiskey or not so much? Because I do.
I'm enjoying it on this one. Yeah.
Just another added complexity to it.
Reminded me of like my toy cedar chest burning on fire. And then also that led me to like a campfire in a pine forest. It is so smoky and just a very rich taste. A little bit of chalk, and then my last...
You got chalky too?
I got chalky too, man. I swear I didn't. I swear on Solly, I didn't. I did them all blind. And then my last one was a strawberry rhubarb kind of, just a sweetness, a red fruit sweetness.
Dude, yes.
Strawberry
I put
rhubarb.
red fruits at one point.
Yeah.
I also put black cherry glaze.
There you go.
No,
Yeah.
the strawberry rhubarb, especially the rhubarb, is
Yeah, rhubarb.
on point. Like kind of sourish rhubarb.
Yeah.
Dude, look at you. You are.
I told you, man. I told you when I was over there that I was getting some good things from this.
So you done?
Yeah.
Anything else?
How about you?
So I get, of course, like I always get with Springbanks, Longrows, or Hazelburn, that delicious underbaked sugar cookies. A little sprinkled salt on it.
I had some sugar cookies tonight, and they were so soft.
Some slight cola. You can't really. It's almost hidden by all like the vinegar and the rhubarb and the black cherry glaze. But there's some cola in there somewhere.
Yeah, I agree with that. Has to be hot though. Hot cola.
Red fruits I put, but now I'm gonna add strawberry rhubarb to that because Dave is such a connoisseur now. A little bit of floral. Man, there's a lot going on. Fig Newtons with vinegar on it.
I like that. I saw that
like
on
Fig
yours.
Newtons with vinegar
yeah.
sprinkled on it.
The bread of the Fig Newton too is there.
You agree?
Yeah.
A little bit of dates that you probably get from the sherry cask. I was searching for tobacco because I thought with so much sherry in this there'd be some tobacco, but I don't get it. I don't get tobacco. Maybe a little bit. Powdered sugar.
Maybe like a pipe tobacco.
Slight.
Yeah.
That's what I mean when I say tobacco.
Well, I was
Some Camel cigarette tobacco. Some wacky tobacco.
Some Marlboro Reds.
I get powdered sugar and soot. Just take some powdered sugar, take some soot, and sprinkle it in together.
Kids, breakfast is ready.
Diesel fuel and funk. And like I said before, I already mentioned this, the black cherry glaze.
Black cherry glaze.
It's a glaziness. It's like it's almost like I can smell and taste the texture.
Yeah, that's how I felt about
Smell
the
the
chalk
texture.
note.
Yeah.
The chalkiness of it.
So I didn't get the chalkiness as much.
On the nose.
I got it on the palate a little bit more, but I could totally see how you get it. What about the palate, buddy?
I wrote a smoky barbecue sauce. It just reminds me of like a...
There's something savory in mine.
Yeah, yep. Well, the next one was brown sugar baked beans. Just reminds me of just some that sugary, but then also that umami kind of texture.
Yeah. This reminds me, so I still love the Springbank 12 cask strengths that are out now. This reminds me of the good Springbank 12 cask strengths from like 3 and 4 years ago. It's still delicious, still amazing. I still would always want it, but it's just kind of a slight notch below what it was. But sorry, I didn't interrupt.
No, that's great. And so that kind of led me to what else? If you burnt some bacon and dumped some salt on it, and
there's a meaty quality to
that it definitely has. Honeycomb cereal and then burnt marshmallow kind of go hand in hand. I feel like if you just burn some marshmallows, threw it in with some honeycomb cereal and ate it, that's it's the sweetness to it, but it's a very good balance of everything. I feel like.
So this is my second bottle, and the first one. Thank you. Shout out to Dustin, D Silv.
Thank you, Dustin.
He was down at the Party Source, and he's like, dude, he sent me and Mike from Mike's Whiskey Reviews a text like, these are $85, and like the first one I got was like 130, 140, and like these are like in a couple of months these are gonna be like 200, 250, then up to 300.
Yeah,
like on the Whiskey Barrel they'll jack it up to like $400 probably. No offense, it's a good site, I order from them, but they do like to jack the prices up.
The market demands.
But yeah,
what are you against capitalism?
Well,
I'm just
they're actually
you against the free market?
They're actually a European country.
You against the free market?
I'm totally for free markets.
You,
let's not get into politics.
You up for tariffs?
The channel's already been heard enough with our.
Hey, just a shout out to anybody that might have clicked on this, hoping that we aren't talking about politics anymore and things like that.
We're gonna continue.
And we're glad you left. I'm just kidding. No, come back because we will be good citizens.
Dave wants to talk politics.
We will be good citizens. Netizens.
One thing I will say, I was talking about how this is my second bottle. This one is better than the first one that I paid a lot more money for.
Really?
So there might be a little batch variation.
Yeah.
It could be psychosomatic in my mind, but to me, this one.
I noticed that you were right. Leaving it sit in the glass for a little bit helps as well.
If you buy a bottle of this, you will be somewhat disappointed on the first couple pours. But if you leave it in the glass for a little bit, oh my gosh, leave it for like 20 minutes, it just gets really candied and it gets amazing. And once you get like halfway through the bottle, it gets really stinking good. So on the palate, I get all those sugar dough cookies, soot, diesel fuel, powdered sugar and soot. The floral's there a little bit again. The fig Newtons and vinegar, totally there. Salt and vinegar chips a little bit. This is a proppy sherry maturation. A proper sherry maturation.
Next week's review, proper 12.
We need to do that.
It's delicious.
Have you had it?
No. I haven't been anywhere that has had it yet.
Again, a little bit of dates. They have it at a liquor store in Springfield.
Well, of course they do.
What is that?
Wineworks.
Wineworks, yeah. That funkiness and a little bit of, again, the black cherry glaze. But then on the palate, I got a little bit, the candy cigarettes, kind of like the chalky ones, that chalky texture.
Yep.
Okay, powdered sugar again.
Yeah.
When you leave it in the glass for a little bit and it gets more candied, a slightest bit of chocolate. Just a little bit. Normally normally the sherry you get a lot of chocolate, but this one there isn't a ton of it.
Really? Chocolate? You get chocolate on this one?
No, I mean, what? What?
I didn't get chocolate on this one. I thought I'd make you feel weird about it.
It's definitely just barely there, and only on the palate.
Yeah. Or leather. I didn't get really any leather on this either.
Yeah. A little grapiness, a little oak, and there's one other.
Grapiness is a good way to put that sweetness.
Maybe a little plums. But anyways, what about the palate?
You mean the finish?
The finish.
Medium-ish finish. Maybe long. Some of it stays long.
It stays on my tongue a long time.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. The chalky feel, the feel of it.
A little bit of pepper and oak on my tongue.
On your tongue. I can feel it rolling. That might be the ABV too, that you feel. But the sweetness stays. It tastes like like a candied bacon aftertaste is how I would put it.
Yes.
Like a
100%.
A little bit burnt candied bacon. It's good. Good.
Medium to long, maybe even leaning more towards the long, but more on the tongue. It's kind of unique. It's not as much in my back of my mouth or the sides. That like it sticks right there on your tongue. Pepper, oak, candied bacon, like black cherry glaze, a little bitterness. Good stuff. Malted Man Cave Mark.
Hey, I really enjoyed this, and I'm glad that you enjoy it as well. that I can enjoy something that you enjoy a lot. With that, also too, with it being surprisingly palatable, even though being a sherried whiskey, man, I'm gonna give this an 89. I really enjoyed it.
Malted Man Cave Mark for me is gonna be a 90 out of 100. I was debating 89. Like if I would have given the first bottle, it would have been an 89. This one is closer to a 90, 91. So I'm going to give it a 90. So,
yeah.
Good stuff. Malted Man Cave approved for me. Sounds like for David as well.
For me as well.
Question of the night?
Yeah, we were talking. We both, Keith just finished. I'm in the middle because it's 3.5 hours long. The Irishman on Netflix. Martin Scorsese, everybody.
Al Pacino. Raymond
Harvey
Romano.
Keitel. Dude, that's so sweet where that opening credits with the eyes. Anyways. has the trend of films and long form film been, is it a good thing for cinema? When we were kids, you went to the movie theaters to see a new movie, and nowadays,
I was shocked that they did it.
Yeah.
I remember seeing, like, I was watching a Lakers game or something.
Yeah.
And they were talking about The Irishman that's like to Netflix. I was like, what?
Yeah, and they're releasing it on big screens, but my wife and I
So you could go watch The Irishman right now at a movie theater?
Yeah.
I thought it was like exclusively to Netflix.
Yeah.
That's still pretty cool too.
Yeah.
So it's like a special exclusive thing for Netflix people.
So is this good for overall just cinema in general, the filmmaking in general? Are we going to have the traditional hour and a half, 2 hour film? Because I know if I was a director, I would want a longer form to tell a story, to develop characters more. I feel like it's an easier way out as well. It's much easier to make a mediocre television series or a long, like a mini series with extra stuff that you didn't really need in it, but it helps move along the plot, than to have just a hour and a half, 2 hours of plot moving at the pace of the movie, and you're keeping up, and you're able to keep up with it. So I feel like, yes, it's fantastic because it's so much more accessible, but I feel like the quality is going to go down because it can.
So you gave me your answer as you're asking the question. So
I was thinking it through. Is
he telling me his answer right now, or is he still answering the question?
So that is my answer to it. I was thinking it through. Sorry. I was thinking it through. That is how I would approach it. So yeah, it's not good for it.
For me, because...
But it'll change.
As an old man with kids I don't think I've seen a movie in like 4 years.
Yeah.
That's not true. I feel I just went and saw Frozen 2 with my kids. But that was like the first movie in like 3 years that I'd been to. So for me, and because I already have Netflix, I like it because it allows me to kind of see movies right away.
Oh, trust me, I like it, but I don't think it's good for...
Right. I don't think an occasional exclusive like that is going to hurt it. If it became like a lot, like all the time, yeah. I don't think we ever want to completely, like, I don't ever want to get rid of the traditional go to the movie theaters with popcorn. I hope we always have that.
Yeah.
It's such an awesome thing.
Yeah, I agree.
I think in moderation, I think it just depends. If they start doing this all the time, it could water it down a little bit for sure.
Yeah.
But for me right now, with just the few that are coming out, I'm cool with it.
I thought so just halfway through The Irishman, fantastic storytelling. I can't get over, I was just talking to you about when people use those face smoothing filters on like Instagram or Snapchat or whatever. The CGI, I know I was struggling to believe it, like with how they made him younger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was just tough. It was tough for me to get over it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's that uncanny valley.
I don't think I even noticed it.
See, there's this thing called the uncanny.
I'll notice it now.
Yeah, you will. Where it looks human, but it's not quite human.
Yeah.
And so you're like, I can't get off of it because I'm like, it's not human. It's not human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching.
It's not human.
Thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and remember, Scotch is king,
but bourbon is best.